From the moment Javon Kinlaw was selected by the 49ers in the first round, he's faced lofty expectations. What do you expect? This is what happens when an organization moves on from a productive player that was among the best in the game at his position. As unfair as it may be, Kinlaw will always be compared to his predecessor, DeForest Buckner. This is completely understandable considering San Francisco used the draft pick they received from the Indianapolis Colts to draft the big defensive tackle out of South Carolina. There isn't much on the stat sheet from Kinlaw's rookie season that really is going to jump out at you. He recorded only 1.5 sacks and 4 quarterback hits over the course of his 14 games played. Despite this, there were enough flashes to believe that there is potential for more production to come. One example of this came in the second contest against the Rams. You may remember that late in the first half, Kinlaw and Kerry Hyder worked a stunt to perfection. With precise timing, Kinlaw was able to speed around the edge of the offensive line as Hyder drove into the Rams' right tackle. The resulting pressure from Kinlaw forced Rams quarterback Jared Goff to step up into the pocket and scramble. This resulted in a fumble when Goff was hit by safety Jimmy Ward, and Hyder was able to retrace his steps and track the ball down for the recovery. This was a tremendous play that does not show up anywhere on the stat sheet for Kinlaw. Looking into 2021, why should we believe that there will be improvement? Kinlaw is extremely athletic and powerful. This shows up often, especially when defending the run, as he does a very good job of holding the point of attack and working down the line to chase the running back. With arms that measure nearly 35 inches, when Kinlaw is able to get fully extended, there is almost no way for the offensive lineman to engage into it and get into his body. This helps Kinlaw to quickly be able to shed the blocker and pursue the ball carrier. This athleticism also shows up at times when rushing the passer, but not necessarily as a rusher. When Kinlaw realizes that he's not going to get to the quarterback, he often will stop his pass rush, get his eyes on the quarterback, and move into the passing lane. This ability led to a near interception against the New Orleans Saints. And then a week later was how Kinlaw ended up getting into the passing lane during the game against the Rams and intercepting Jared Goff on a play early in the second half, the second play actually, that he was able to return for a touchdown. Why should we be concerned about Kinlaw moving forward? A strong case can be made that Kinlaw's development was stunted due to the inability to work with the Flyers coaching staff until showing up for training camp due to COVID-19 in 2020. The athleticism and strength that Kinlaw shows in the run game rarely shows up though when trying to get to the opposing quarterback. This is primarily due to a lack of pass rush moves. The majority of the time, Kinlaw is limited to a straight bull rush in which he tries to drive the offensive line back into the quarterback. If Kinlaw could develop some additional go-to pass rush moves, perhaps a spin move, a swim move, or even you just being able to use his long arms to rip through an offensive lineman and get around his edge, the numbers should improve for Kinlaw. What are real expectations for Kinlaw in year 2? The Flyers have made a number of additions up front to the interior of their defensive line, including the addition of Zach Kerr and Maurice Hurst in free agency. These moves were most likely targeted strength and rotation and should do little, though, to change the number of snaps that Kinlaw is going to be playing per game. Look for Kinlaw to continue to improve and finish with right around 40 tackles in 2020. That kind of measures with what he did in 2020 and his college production as well, with a slight step up. If he can then come up with 4 to 5 sacks, that would be a welcome improvement for the Flyers defensive line. And more importantly, Kinlaw needs to be able to generate more pass rush pressure from the interior. But it may be a stretch to expect him to be able to get double-digit hits on opposing quarterbacks considering his rookie performance and what he did in college as well. With Nick Bosa returning though, and Samson Ebukam brought in to solidify the other defensive end position, this should be the season that we truly get to see what the Flyers can get out of the 14th selection from the 2020 draft.